I want to thank you. I want to thank you for allowing me to visit here today.
John Travolta is an American actor who made his way into the big cinema thanks to his musical talent. His life is a dream come true, but there were several tragedies behind the scenes.
They certainly do. They certainly do.
In our new video, we will tell you all about the ups and downs of this king of the dance floor. John Travolta, how the Pulp Fiction star lives and what he spends his millions on.
But don't feel bad, we just met each other.
John Joseph Travolta was born on February 18, 1954 in Englewood, New Jersey. His family was big and tight-knit. His father, Salvatore, was of Italian descent. In his youth, he dreamed of a career in American football, but went into the automobile tire trade. His mom, Helen, had Irish roots, and it was this culture that had a great influence on the future actor. John was the youngest of the 6 children in the family. He has 2 brothers and 3 sisters. Their mother was an actress, singer, and drama teacher. So, from an early age, children absorbed the love of creativity, and as a result, all of them became involved in acting. Travolta Sr. didn't stand aside and strongly supported their interest in performing arts. He even put together a wooden stage so that he could arrange home performances. As John admitted, at the age of 5, he was greatly impressed by the film of Federico Fellini, and later he got his first role in a school play. It had no lines, all he had to do was walk across the stage. The father then told his son that when he came out on stage, all the audience in the hall immediately turned their attention to him, forgetting about the other actors. Most likely, it was an exaggeration, but such support inspired the boy to keep on practicing the performing arts. From the age of 6, Travolta began attending dance classes. One of the first dance styles he mastered was tap dancing, but his hobbies were not limited to this, because John had dreamed of flying since childhood. He collected model airplanes and could watch flight exercises for hours at a military base located near his home. But his main passion still remained acting. By the age of 16, the young actor was already performing on the theater stages of New Jersey and attended theater school every night, where he studied singing, dancing, and acting. According to John, because of this, he never managed to find common ground with his classmates in his regular comprehensive school. So Travolta dropped out of it without much regret and moved to New York with the support of his parents. There, he began acting on stage, getting his first paid job, a role in the musical Bye Bye Birdie. According to some reports, in 3 months, he earned a symbolic fee of $100. Also, John regularly starred in advertising. He demonstrated his vocal abilities in commercials for Band-Aids and soap, and also advertised the Mutual of New York Insurance Company and Honda motorcycles. When there was not enough work in New York, John went to Hollywood, but the role in the production of Grease brought him back, and soon the 18-year-old got a job on Broadway. For 10 months, he appeared on stage in the musical Over Here. After that, Travolta auditioned for the main role in the rock opera Jesus Christ Superstar, but unsuccessfully. Then he went back to Los Angeles, where he auditioned for a TV movie and several TV series, including Medical Center. In 1975, the actor appeared in the horror movie The Devil's Reign, on the set of which he was introduced to Scientology. Since then, he has renounced his Catholic faith and practiced this popular among the celebrities' teaching. In the same year, Travolta began acting in the TV series Welcome Back, Kotter, and the following year he received an episodic but vivid role in the film adaptation of Stephen King's novel Carrie, and also played the main role in the film The Boy in the Plastic Bubble, about the life of a guy born without immunity.
You know, I'm not so unhappy in here as all of you think. Really?
I'll see you, Todd.
His on-screen mother was played by Diana Hyland, who was 18 years older than him, but the age difference did not prevent colleagues from falling in love with each other. However, their happiness did not last long. In 1977, Diana was diagnosed with breast cancer, and a few months later, she died in the arms of her beloved man. It was a big shock for John. He remained single for a long time and later had a brief relationship with Brooke Shields. While Travolta was going through a personal tragedy, he managed to find success in his personal field. Thanks to his dancing skills, he was able to get a role in the 1977 film Saturday Night Fever, where he played a disco regular. To prepare for the shooting, the actor spent about 9 months perfecting dance moves, but the very first dance that the audience sees is improvisation, because the choreographer missed that shooting day. John's work was appreciated by professionals and nominated for a Golden Globe and an Oscar.
high get of 2001 is just dancing. It's not being a best or nothing like that. You know, the thing is that I would like to get that high someplace else in my life, you know?
It is known that Fever became one of the 3 films for which Travolta received $1 million in total. By the way, the man spent the first big money on the realization of his childhood dream, to fly airplanes. He received a pilot's license and eventually accumulated an entire fleet of aircraft. The following year, a film adaptation of the musical Grease was released on the screens and became a real breakthrough for the actor. He and Olivia Newton-John performed several songs themselves and they became hits, and John was again nominated for a Golden Globe for his acting.
First thing we have to do is you have to change.
Well, I know that's why I'm here, you know, to change.
No, I mean your clothes.
Oh.
Then his filmography was replenished with the movies Moment by Moment and Urban Cowboy. For this musical western, Travolta trained to stay on a mechanical bull and even installed it in his home to do so. The political thriller Blowout of 1981 was an attempt to move away from the image of a dancing handsome man. However, the shooting of this film was not easy for the actor because he experienced insomnia attacks which he suffered from childhood. To overcome it, John played the violin. Travolta's next project was a sequel to Saturday Night Fever called Staying Alive, directed by Stallone. John called Sylvester his favorite director because he knew how to make the actor look better on screen. The actor did his best for this role. He trained for almost 5 months, 6 days a week for 14 to 16 hours and lost about 22 pounds.
You know why I order so many drinks?
Because you're an alcoholic.
No, because I love to watch you walk.
Ooh, I like that.
In 1985, there was an event that the celebrity would call one of the most memorable in his life. During Princess Diana's visit to the USA, she danced with him, and later Travolta admitted that he would like to experience this moment again. Meanwhile, the audience saw him in the films Two of a Kind, Perfect, The Room, and The Experts. In 1989, the comedy Look Who's Talking was released, where John co-starred with Kirstie Alley.
Coffee regular. Love it.
You know that's breast milk.
Why didn't you tell me?
Hey, man, you're on your own.
According to the actor, she became his favorite co-star, but the girl had stronger feelings for her colleague. However, she hid her infatuation since she was married. Travolta wasn't single either. On previous shootings, he started dating Kelly Preston, and they were on their way to getting married. And though Kirstie later called John the greatest love of her life, she refused to cross the line of friendship. Look Who's Talking was a great success, and in 1990, a sequel of the romantic comedy was released. At the same time, the actor appeared in the thriller Chains of Gold, followed by the dramas Eyes of an Angel and Shout. In 1991, the wedding of John Travolta and Kelly Preston took place, but their union, concluded by a Scientology priest, was declared illegal. Then they held the ceremony again, and a year later their son Jet was born. He was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder and Kawasaki syndrome. A few years later, his sister Ella was born. John's career also did not stand still. The comedy thriller Boris and Natasha, the movie, and the third installment in the film series Look Who's Talking Now appeared in his filmography. At the same time, the actor regularly received nominations for the Golden Raspberry, including as one of the worst actors of the decade. The film Forrest Gump would have reversed the negative trend in which he was offered the main role, but he refused. Travolta later recognized this decision as a mistake, but he accepted Quentin Tarantino's invitation to star in Pulp Fiction. At the same time, the actor did not count on success at all and improvised on the set a lot. But in the end, the film became a cult, and The Dance with Uma Thurman entered the history of world cinema. For this role, John received only $150,000, but he is still grateful to Tarantino for giving a new momentum to his career. The actor was nominated for the Actors Guild Award, BAFTA, Golden Globe, and Oscar, and also received an MTV Award for Best Dance.
Looking at something, friend? My friend Pluka. What's that? I think you heard me just fine, Punchy.
After Pulp Fiction, the Hollywood star's fees skyrocketed. For his role in the thriller White Man's Burden, he received $500,000. The movies Broken Arrow and Phenomenon brought him $8 million each, and the comedy fantasy Michael brought $12 million. In preparation for the role in the latter movie, John listened to 500 hours of Spanish language courses. He actually did it just in case. By the way, the actor speaks French. In 1995, the comedy Get Shorty was released, for which Travolta received a fee of $4,250,000 and was also nominated for an Actors Guild Award and received a Golden Globe.
You had it down cold. Look, if I didn't know better, I'd have thought you was a made guy.
Thank you.
I mean, no acting there, right?
Yeah.
And the Fink part, oh man, Jesus Christ. I mean, look, I never met a Fink, and I hope to God I never do.
In 1997, the celebrity appeared in the movies She's So Lovely and Mad City with a fee of $20 million. He received the same amount for the thriller Face Off, where he co-starred with Nicolas Cage. By the way, the actors spent 2 weeks together before filming to learn how to play each other. For this film, they received the MTV Movie Award as Best On-Screen Duo.
You good looking. You're hot.
It's like looking in a mirror, only not.
This was followed by the political drama Primary Colors, in which John played the fictional governor Jack Stanton. For this role, he gained 30 pounds and his fee was $17 million.
An effort in adult literacy, and I say to them because it gives me a chance to see courage.
Bill Clinton liked the movie so much that he invited Travolta to the reception, but on the condition that he would come as his character. However, the actor refused. By the way, his work was liked not only by the US president, but also by film experts who nominated the star for the Golden Globe. Soon, the premieres of the films Welcome to Hollywood and The Thin Red Line took place, and the movies A Civil Action and The General's Daughter brought the actor $20 million each. Then he acted as a producer and performer of the role of the main villain in the fantastic action movie Battlefield Earth. This project is an adaptation of the novel of the same name by the founder of Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, so it was especially important for John. He even invested in the production $5 out of $10 million of his own fee, and in order for the crew members to eat well, he hired a chef from Canada. To say that the picture was not a success is to say nothing. The film received 7 Golden Raspberry Anti Awards at once. 2 more Raspberries were awarded in 2005 and 2010 as Worst Drama of Our First 25 Years and as Worst Picture of the Decade. The crime comedy Lucky Numbers also failed at the box office, unable to recoup the funds invested in the production. Of these, $22 million went to John. Then he appeared in the series The Drew Carey Show, the action movie Swordfish, for which he received $20 million, the thriller Domestic Disturbance, and the comedy Austin Powers in Goldmember. The 2003 film Basic brought the actor $15 million, and the film about firefighters Ladder 49 brought him $20 million. The role in the latter was intended for another actor, but as soon as John showed interest in it, the issue was resolved in his favor. Travolta's filmography was also supplemented by the superhero movie The Punisher and the drama A Love Song for Bobby Long. In 2005, John starred in the sequel to the film Get Shorty called Be Cool, earning $20 million. He wanted to revive their duo with Uma Thurman on the screen, so he himself offered the actress for the main female role. After the release of the films Lonely Hearts and Wild Hogs, Travolta had another success. Once again, it was a musical. In 2007's Hairspray, he played the main character's mother and made audiences fall in love with him. The makeup took 4 hours daily, and the thickening suit weighed 28 pounds. According to John, he turned into a woman without any problems since he grew up surrounded by sisters. Besides, his wife was nearby, who helped with advice. As a result, he received positive reviews from critics, nominations for the Golden Globe and the Actors Guild Award, as well as a fee of $14 million.
She wouldn't know a dream if it fit her on the nose.
Well, I have information for you, Missy. I once had a dream that I owned a coin-operated laundromat, and I came down from that cloud real quickly. I'll tell you that.
Then the actor voiced the cartoon character Bolt and also starred in the films The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, Old Dogs, and From Paris with Love. However, their release was overshadowed by a tragedy in the family. On January 2, 2009, his eldest son, Jet, died during a seizure. After that, John decided to go into hiding. He did not participate in the promotional events of the films and stopped acting for several years. The couple devoted time to each other, consulted with experts on family relations, and soon they had a son, Benjamin. And in honor of Jet, they created a charitable foundation to help children with special needs. By the way, the couple also worked very closely with a number of animal rescue organizations. Family grief did not prevent the actor from organizing an earthquake relief effort for Haiti in 2010. He even made several flights on his plane, delivering humanitarian supplies, doctors, and volunteers to the affected areas. In 2012, the actor returned to the cinema with the action movie Savages, and a little earlier he was bombarded with accusations of harassment. They were put forward by Travolta's former masseur, later joined by another colleague. But in the end, both lawsuits were withdrawn. However, rumors about the star's homosexuality kept appearing in the media. Back in the 90s, it was reported that he could not leave the Church of Scientology as he was afraid of revealing the details of his personal life. Meanwhile, John's filmography included the series Kirstie, the movies Killing Season, The Forger, Life on the Line, Criminal Activities, and In a Valley of Violence. In February 2016, Travolta played the lawyer of O.J. Simpson in the first season of the series The People vs. O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story, for which he was nominated for a Golden Globe.
I think it's crucial that the attorney and the client are truthful with each other. So anything you tell me is completely confidential and will never leave this room.
In the same year, the actor played the main role in the action movie I Am Wrath, replacing Nicolas Cage, and his next project was the drama Gotti. In it, John played with his daughter Ella and wife Kelly. Unfortunately, this was their last joint work with the spouse because in 2018, the woman was diagnosed with breast cancer. Travolta kept acting, but his films received low ratings. Among them are thrillers Speed Kills and The Poison Rose, the action movie Trading Paint, and the horror The Fanatic. He won the Golden Raspberry Awards for the latter two films. In addition, John starred in 10 episodes of the TV series Die Hard. On July 12, 2020, Kelly Preston died, and the actor took a break from his career to devote time to his children. All in all, he appreciates the time spent with his family and has repeatedly said that he could have had a more successful career becoming a director or producer, but his family is more important to him. For his children, John even wrote a fairy tale, Propeller One-Way Night Coach, which was released in the late 90s. By the way, Travolta also writes guides for those who want to keep themselves in good physical shape and several works related to Scientology. In 2022, the actor returned to the screens, appearing in the failed action movie Paradise City. That's when rumors began to circulate that he had recovered from the death of his wife and was spending a lot of time with Kirstie Alley, who had a crush on him. However, in December, the woman died, also from cancer. The thrillers American Metal and The Shepherd with Travolta are about to be released. By the way, between filming, the actor often gains weight as he loves fast food. He also dreams of playing a villain in a James Bond movie. During his long career, the celebrity often turned down offered roles, and funnily enough, they often went to Richard Gere. For example, Gere replaced Travolta in Pretty Woman, American Gigolo, and Chicago. John also refused to star in the film An Officer and a Gentleman, which consolidated to Gere's success because of his pacifist beliefs. In addition to almost 100 movie roles, John has several music albums under his belt. Interestingly enough, Michael Jackson's song Wanna Be Startin' Something was written for Travolta, but eventually included in the album Thriller. Later, the actor, along with other celebrities, appeared in the Pop Kings music video for the song Liberian Girl. Thanks to large royalties and advertising deals with companies such as T-Mobile, Capital One, and the video game God of War, John Travolta was able to accumulate a fortune of $250 million. Among his expenses are donations to charities and the Church of Scientology, as well as luxury watches. His collection includes pieces worth up to $500,000. By the way, the actor had an advertising contract with one of the watch brands, namely the Swiss company Breitling. In the video, John demonstrates his piloting skills, and airplanes are another significant line of spending. He has flight licenses for a dozen different aircraft, and he received another permit quite recently. In 2022, Travolta bought 4 planes for himself. However, in 2017, he donated one Boeing worth about $40 million to the Australian Society engaged in the restoration of rarities. The actor has experience of emergency landings, but the most extreme happened in 1992. His plane was struck by lightning, and during a hard landing, he almost collided with another aircraft. Passion for aviation led to the purchase of a house with a runway. From the living room of his custom-built mansion in Ocala, Florida, you can see planes in the yard and walk to the front door right off the air stair. It has a private flight control center, and there is a separate house for guests. In the same state, Travolta had another mansion in Clearwater, not far from Scientology headquarters. Hidden behind a high fence and a hedge, the house includes 5 bedrooms with en-suite bathrooms, a spacious living room with a fireplace, combined with a kitchen dining room and a dressing room. The backyard has a roofed patio, an outdoor pool, and a private dock. After the death of his wife, the actor put his house up for sale for $4 million. A little earlier, John got rid of his other real estate in Brentwood, Los Angeles. He bought this 2-story house with a swimming pool and a tennis court in 1993 for $3.5 million and sold it for $18 million. Instead, in 2019, the actor bought a villa in Calabasas for more than $2.5 million. This is a 2-story Mediterranean-style house with 6 bedrooms, several living rooms with fireplaces, a dining room, a spacious kitchen, a study, a library, and a gym, and the yard includes a swimming pool and a gazebo. Travolta also has an estate in Maine with an area of 10,000 square feet, which is now for sale for $5 million. The house has 42 rooms, including 20 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, living rooms, dining room, and kitchen. This is where the actor liked to spend Christmas. Until 2005, he and his wife owned a house on one of the Hawaiian Islands, but they sold it for $3 million. The actor's car collection is no less luxurious. He loves classic cars, and his garage includes a 5th-generation Rolls-Royce Phantom, a Jaguar XJ6, a Mercedes-Benz 280 SL, a '70 Mustang Boss 302, and a Tiffany-colored Ford Thunderbird. What's your favorite John Travolta movie?
And?
And nothing. That's it.
If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything interesting.